Hello guys, Bobby Drives here. So today I've got a Mercedes-Benz CLS 350 Grand Edition. Now bear with me, I know a lot of you are thinking it's not really a special car or a unique car or that all interesting. Really, this car is actually a very interesting and an important car to the automotive history. Watch this review to find out more. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. Do hit the bell notification button so you'll be notified for my new videos. And please guys, if you do like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Any thumbs up really does help support the channel, gives it more exposure, and I'd really appreciate it. Let's crack on with the review. So I'll start with explaining why I think this car is so important to our car industry. This is first ever four-door coupe. This is a car which started a four-door coupe craze. This is what led BMW to do the 6 Series Grand Coupe along with the 4 Series Grand Coupe. Audi going with the A5 Sportback or the A7, all the way down to Volkswagen doing a Passat CC, which is now called the Arteon. And bear in mind guys, this car debuted in mid 2004, and back then this was cutting edge, new technology, new concept and new design, and it's stuck around ever since. Bear in mind, this one in front of us, this particular car, is a 2010 plate, but it doesn't even really look like it. Yes, the interior inside is starting to look a little bit dated, a little bit old, but from outside I still think it looks like a really good looking car. And talking about this car being a Grand Edition, the Grand Edition was effectively the last line of the CLS era. So Mercedes pumped a lot of stuff, a lot of extras into it, just to probably get more sales in before the new CLS came out in 2011. So I'm going to go around and I'll show you all the features and what extras are being the Grand Edition, but I'm actually going to start with going through the engines in this car. So there's 5 engines available. We'll start with the petrols. You can get a CLS 350, which has got 292 brake horsepower, and I'll get you 0 to 60 in 6.7 seconds. Then you can get the CLS 500, which originally came with 306 brake horsepower, and that would get you 0 to 60 in 6.1 seconds. A year later, it was replaced with the whole new 5.5 V8 engine, and that actually took the brake horsepower up to 382, so about 76 brake horsepower more, which is quite a big jump. That changed in 0 to 60 from 6.1 down to 5.4 seconds. Then you can go for the big fat juicy ones, which is the CLS 55 AMG. That produced 469 brake horsepower and get you 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds. It was later superseded by the CLS 63 AMG, which is the 6.2 litre V8 bi-turbo, and that had 507 brake horsepower, meaning it'll get you 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds. So really only 0.2 of a second quicker than the CLS 55 AMG. Moving on to this originally came in a CLS 320 that had 220 brake horsepower, 376 pounds of torque, and it'll get you 0 to 60 in 7 seconds flat. In 2009 it was replaced with the CLS 350 engine, which was a 3 litre V6. However, it was the same power, same torque, same 0 to 60. But this being a Grand Edition, it actually got an extra 48 brake horsepower. So this car actually has 272 brake horsepower, 436 pounds of torque, and it'll get you 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds, so a whole half a second quicker. Electronically limited to 155 miles an hour. The best thing about it, your miles per gallon stay the same, 37 miles per gallon, which is brilliant in this tank of this Merc, which was the same as the former CLS 320. So in my opinion, more power, more grunt, but the same economy. Win-win. And another thing I'd like to mention is the style of this car. So like I said, this is the first four-door coupe. I think it's absolutely lovely with that sloping roof line. In fact, after this, there's been 2 more CLSs with a few facelifts in between. I personally still think this is the best design out of all of them. There is another extra on this car, which I'm going to talk about, which makes it look a little bit more mean ass, badass, whatever you'd say, and that's because this has got the AMG kit. So along with the person who bought this car brand new from Mercedes, he wanted a Grand Edition, he also spec'd this car to have the AMG kit. Now I looked on Auto Trader last night, none of them come with the AMG body styling. So the AMG body styling, you've got different side sills, different front bumper, different rear bumper. It's actually the kit that you'd get from the CLS 55 AMG. However, it's got the 3-litre V6 engine in it. So that's why it does make the car look a little bit more special, a little bit nicer, and a little bit wider on the road. And another thing to mention, there's actually only ever been 560 of these Grand Editions ever made. So they actually are quite rare. And like I said yesterday, I could only see 7 of them online, whereas there's probably about over 100 of normal CLSs for sale. We bought this car, oh, I forgot to mention guys, so this car is in my family, and we bought this car about a year and a half ago for just under £10,000. So even back then it was still quite pricey, but we got a good deal on it because they're going for about £12,500 today. And even from the rear guys, look how impressive it looks. I just love this whole coupe styling design. Admittedly, this being Mercedes' first one, it was quite risky, but they actually pulled it off. This did get a facelift in 2008. I'm going to grab the camera and take you around a little bit more detail so we can see what those features were and get to know the car a little bit more before I take it out for a drive. So guys, let's look at all the facelift features, starting with the lights. So these are xenon lights. Previously, when it wasn't a facelift, the whole encasing had like a silver film inside, so they were like just a big silver light. Since it's been facelifted, and especially being a Grand Edition, the whole encasing inside is actually a matte black finish, so it makes it look a little bit sportier, a little bit more modern. On top of that, this being a Grand Edition, you do actually get adaptive lighting. So when you turn your steering wheel, the lights will turn with it. What's also good, when you turn right, your right spotlight will illuminate. If you turn left, the left spotlight will illuminate. And apparently it gives you 25% more vision at night. The next thing to have a facelift are the front grills. So you've got now 2 louvers. I don't know why they called that, it's a funny name. But previously you had 4 of these which were thinner, and they've updated it to be 2 big thicker ones, and it's more of the AMG body styling. I just think it looks a lot better. Another feature I really like is this really discreet Grand Edition badge. That's the only place in the whole car which actually says Grand Edition. Whilst we're here, love the ring mirrors. So these ring mirrors have been updated. Previously, when it wasn't a facelift, you just had one thick light going around, but now you've got like 2 lines which light up and illuminate. Another feature to the Grand Edition, you do get these 18-inch 5-spoke AMG stamped alloys, and what's really nice, they're 2-tone, so they're silver on the front, but the inserts are like of a darker grey finish. Again, just makes it look a little bit more sportier. Towards the rear, you would see the slightly more aggressive AMG bumper with the diffuser. All of these do get twin exhausts. However, on a normal CLS, they're more of a rectangle sort of design. But this, because it has the AMG body styling, it comes with the AMG exhausts. So you actually got an oval shaped exhaust, one on each side, but what makes it extra special, on top of them, it's stamped with the AMG logo. The rear lights have also been updated, so you still get a normal halogen bulb up here, but all of these lights are now LEDs. And again, it just makes it look a little bit more updated. There's also a design feature which I really like in this car, and it emphasizes the coupe even more. And it is this line. This line goes all the way across right to the front arch, and it curves back in. But what's really cool, this line going all the way across here, it actually continues into the rear lights. So it doesn't stop here. The light actually carries on right to the end and all the way to the front. Again, just making it a little bit more streamlined, giving that bit more of a coupe feel. Another feature I really like are the doors. So this being a coupe, as soon as you open it, you realise there's no frame around the door. It's actually pillarless, so this is glass. So I can effectively put the window down, and then it's like a coupe door. Same with the rear. There's no pillar around the glass frame. Again, it just gives that bit more of a coupe feel. Love that. So guys, let's have a look from the inside. So starting with, you've got a new updated 3-pointed steering wheel. This is part of the facelift and the Grand Edition. Before you had just a very ugly looking steering wheel. So this is definitely more sporty. I love how you've got this wood which goes around. It's actually called Bird's Eye Maple Trim. Bit of a funny name. But I love how you actually have it on the steering wheel as well as the bottom. Again, making it feel a little bit more luxurious, a little bit more special. It is powered by a 7-speed automatic gearbox. One thing I forgot to mention, guys, this car does come with the Airmatic suspension. So there's a button here where you can have it as comfortable or Sports 1 or Sports 2, where it's a little bit more aggressive. Suspension tightens up a bit and the throttle becomes a bit more sharper. To the left of it, you have another button where it actually raises the suspension. So you'll actually be able to see the car going up for high curbs and then coming back down to be driving normally. To the right of it is just your parking sensors. Everything else is pretty much standard. You've got your infotainment screen, which has satellite navigation, radio, music. It's got Bluetooth audio, so you can connect your music to it. Right at the top, you've got a CD slot and a micro SD slot. So if you've got your music on a little storage card, you can put it in here and it'll download it. One thing I'm surprised about, so just underneath the infotainment screen, you have another selection of buttons where you have your heated seats to bring the rear headrests up and down, your triangle hazard button. But underneath the hazard button, there used to be like a little silver line. And it didn't say open or close, it was kind of a potluck bit of a guess. If you press that, this whole compartment would pop up and behind it would be a 6-disc CD changer. Nowadays this one has got in the boot, so it doesn't need to have it here. So that's one quirky thing I like. You used to press this button and this compartment would pop out, but it doesn't do it in this. Underneath here you've got more storage, you've got a place you can put your keys or coins. To the right you've got 12-volt charging support. Up here you've got 2 cup holders. Yep, this was an era where cup holders did become a bit more mandatory. You know, back in the days a lot of people said, why do you need a cup holder? Who drives whilst they're drinking? But we all do need it, evidently. And behind that you have your armrest. Now this is quite funny. You can either open it from the passenger side and it opens up the same storage box, or I can open it up from the driver's side and it's also the same storage box. I mean, I just didn't think why they shouldn't have a button here. We could just open it upwards. It's either sideways or this way. Bit bizarre, but it does it. Just above the infotainment screen, you do have your climate control buttons. It's really good because it's dual zone, so the passenger can have their own temperature separate to the driver's temperature. You do have a little LED display, so it displays all your temperature inside. But generally speaking, it's a very nice cockpit. I do love how the wood goes all across. I love these seats, they're very supportive. Obviously they're heated, electrically adjustable. They've got bolster supports in here and they just hug you very well. So on a motorway with 4 passengers, I think this is the sort of car that you want to be in, because in the back, you can't actually fit a 5th person. It's 2 individual seats with a middle cockpit which goes all the way up, which offers a bit of storage. But that's really good because then you don't cramp people in this car. It's really a Grand Tourer with 4 doors for 4 people and a big boot for your golf clubs. The instrument cluster is also very nice. It's more of a, looks like a silver titanium sort of finish with silver rings around the speedometers, but it's really funny. So the middle one is your speedometer, which is classic. To the right you've got your rev counter, but to the left you've got the time. So you've got one big dial which is taken up by the time. I'm not too sure why they have that there. They could add something else. But to the left and to the right of it, you have a digital bar which shows what how much petrol you've got in the car and what the temperature of your oil is. So generally quite a modern look. If I come to the steering wheel, I can actually control the middle speedometer. It's got a screen in the middle and I can control what it displays. So right now it's saying Bluetooth ready. I can check what mileage or consumption I've done. I can also look at my satellite navigation and tell me what direction to take in the middle of the screen, so I don't have to go to the infotainment screen. And it also tell me what radio station I'm on or what music or song I'm listening to and the temperature outside. To the right of the steering wheel, I do have my buttons for my automatic lights. Towards the door, I've got 4 electric windows and automatic wing mirrors. And in the rear of the car, like I said, very comfortable. So you do have a middle cockpit which goes all the way across, so you can't fit a 5th member in here. You've literally just got 2 seats in the back with an armrest. You can push this out, you've got your cup holders which actually come out and pop up. I don't know if you can see that. So if I push this in, they sink. When I let it back out, it actually pops up. Really nice. I can lift this up. I've got a place to store my pen, some other bits and bobs, and maybe my phone here. But generally speaking, it is definitely nice and comfortable. I've got loads of leg space. I'm 5'10", so it gives me enough space in there. Bear in mind, because this being a 4-door coupe, the roofline is a little bit sloped. So if you are a tall person, you may struggle a little bit in here. But I think if you're up to about 6 foot, 6'2", you'll be okay. I also have leather nets behind the driver and passenger seat. Now this is very Mercedes. Mercedes did this first. They used to have an actual like net, but nowadays they're made out of leather. But it's great to just put your books or magazines. I forgot to mention, this does have the upgraded sound system, which is a Harman Kardon system. So it has 8 speakers internally, and just to the back here, there's like a subwoofer on a rear shelf. So it gives a really good audio sound. So guys, let's now take it for a drive. Oh, it's just so soft. Typical Mercedes, you know, it's just comfortable. The one thing I'd say from the beginning, this being a diesel, for some reason you can really hear it's a diesel. One thing with Mercedes is that the steering wheel is so light. May not be the most direct, it's a very, very light steering wheel. This is a sort of car where you don't really want to put your foot down, you actually want to just take it nice and slow. I actually said that about my brother's CL500. It's one of those cars where you know it's lethal, you know it's really fast, but you just don't want to put your foot down, you just want to take it nice and gentle. This is one of those two. Currently I've got it in comfort mode. I'm going to put it into sports, and I'm going to put it into sports too. Straight away I can feel the throttle's way more responsive. Another thing with the gearbox, it's a Steptronic gearbox, so I can go left or right. I don't have paddle shifts unfortunately, but if I go left it will drop a gear, if I go right it will bring it up a gear, and again it just makes it a little bit more sporty. So let's go around this roundabout and we'll open it up a little bit. I'm not going to play around with the Steptronic gearbox, I'm just going to do kick down and see what it gives us. So let's do it. Bit delayed, but oof. And the reason why, because this car's got a lot of torque. This comes with 436 pounds of torque. That's probably about 150 pounds of torque more than the equivalent petrol version of this, and hence why it's actually quicker 0 to 60. The petrol 6.7 seconds. This, well, I'll give it, being a Grand Tour, it's got an extra 48 brake horsepower. This is 6.5 seconds 0 to 60. However, the petrol still got 292 brake horsepower, so it's got 20 brake horsepower more than this, and it's a petrol, so I think it would have been quicker than this, but purely down to the amount of torque that this has, it just shoots off the road. There's something vibrating here. Ah, there you go, I fixed it. Sometimes if in doubt, just give it a whack and it'll fix the problem. So one other thing I noticed, guys, so this being a 4-door coupe, this windscreen is definitely a lot smaller and shorter, and it's in my face a lot more. Compared to the S-Class that I reviewed last year, that's got a massive windscreen, really tall, and you can just see a lot more. This definitely does give that whole coupe feel a bit more, and admittedly, I actually do feel like I'm driving a coupe. So guys, let's do a Steptronic. So let me keep it in, let's get into gear. I've got it in gear 2 right now. Let's put it into sport, so it keeps it in gear 2, so I'm in gear 2. Build up the turbos a little bit. Yeah. Whew. It actually does keep going. This would be a great car on the motorway. It hasn't got the pull power that would just shoot you in the back of your seats when you take off. But it's definitely got that grunt, and you can feel it in the back there. It just keeps pulling and pulling and pulling. So on the motorway, you know, overtaking power, absolutely tremendous, brilliant power to overtake. Let's do kick down. Smooth gear changes, really smooth gear changes. But what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to put it back into comfort. It's all much quieter now. It seems a little bit more refined, a bit more relaxed. And let's face it, you know, if you wanted a very aggressive car, you would probably go and buy the AMG, the CLS 55 or the 63. But this is a car for someone who wants to be a little bit economical, have a little bit of power, have a bit of style as well. So as an all-rounder, it's a great car. Yes, it's not going to fly you around the corners, but it'll still get you 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds, and that's still very, very quick. Let's push it again.
So guys, that brings us to the end of the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I absolutely love this car, and like I said, it's a special car in the automotive history because this is what really started the 4-door coupe craze. Admittedly, the Grand Coupe that I like at the moment is the BMW 6 Series. Just love the way how it's so wide and really flat. That has been replaced by the 8 Series Grand Coupe, which is absolutely humongous. But I like how it all kind of started from this. And this one being the Grand Edition is very special. There's not many in the market, so if you are looking to buy one, I would suggest get one of these because they will become a bit more of a collector's, and there are only 6 or 7, like I said, on the market. If you are new to my channel, guys, please do subscribe. Do hit the bell notification button so you'll be notified for all my new videos. And please, 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 do smash the thumbs up button. Like I said, it gives me loads more exposure. It really helps me grow the channel to get more cars like this on there, and I'd really appreciate it. But until then, I'll see you in the next review.